Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while, but first and foremost, Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to leave a lot of links in the descriptions where you can go donate. It's probably links that you have seen already everywhere on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, but I'm gonna leave them anyways in this description of this video. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make a video about all of the things that I've been watching during quarantine because I made a video a couple months ago about what you could watch during quarantine to lift yourself up, some feel-good movies that you could watch. But this video is a little bit different because these are the things that I've been watching, so it's not necessarily new movies that I've watched because honestly, I haven't watched a lot of new movies. I've been re-watching a lot of things. I've also been watercoloring, I've been drawing with my iPad. I made this little mushroom city. I don't know. Okay, without further ado, let's start with a TV show that I just recently started watching, and it's called Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's streaming on Amazon Prime, and actually a lot of people had told me before that I would probably enjoy this show, that it was kind of like right up my alley, but I just never gave it a chance. I don't know why. I mean, I'm still on season 1, but I've been loving it so far. It's so funny. The fashion is amazing in it. It's about this woman in the 1950s, and she wants to be a comedian. She has a really strong personality. She's very loud, outgoing, but her personal life is kind of all over the place. So she takes those jokes from her personal life and uses them in her stand-up. When I first started watching it, I was like, wow, this really reminds me of Gilmore Girls because of how fast they talk. They don't even take a breath, they don't even take a pause. And then I found out it's the same creator of Gilmore Girls. So if you like Gilmore Girls, if you like that kind of fast-paced dialogue with characters that are always saying witty things, then you'll probably like this show as well. It's hot. Another show that I recently watched in its entirety that I had never seen in its entirety before, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm sure a lot of people are watching that right now because they put it on Netflix, I think like about a month ago. I watched it when I was little, but I never finished it, so it was really nice to just binge it and watch all of it. I think that show is one of the best animated kids show that there is, because not only is it so funny, it deals with a lot of deep topics that you don't necessarily see in any kids animation from like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and all that stuff. I feel like you see a lot more deeper themes and topics in anime than in other Western shows, but Avatar is a Western show, so I think it really sets itself apart from all of those other Nickelodeon kids show that we used to watch as kids. Anyways, I'm really sad that I finished all of it, and I'm debating whether to watch Legend of Korra or not because that one I never watched as a kid, so I don't know if it's good or bad. Coffee break. It's cold. Okay, so just to keep it with TV shows, another TV show that I've been watching, but I started watching it way before quarantine, is One Day at a Time. It's about a Cuban family that lives in the United States, and it's a comedy, and it's really, really funny, but Netflix canceled it. A lot of people were pissed about it, including me, but they picked it back up and now they're airing it on Pop TV, but the episodes are on Hulu. So, and I love that it's a comedy about a Latin family. When I watch it, I crack up so much because even though they're Cuban, and I'm not Cuban, I'm Dominican, but it's still, there's so many similarities. I'm just really glad that they picked it back up. Another TV show I watched during quarantine, and I feel like I watched this such a long time ago, but it was probably just a month ago. It just, quarantine makes the day seem so long. But the show is called Hollywood, and it was created by Ryan Murphy, who created Glee, Pose, American Horror Story, a bunch of TV shows. I feel like there wasn't a lot of people talking about this show, but personally, I really, really enjoyed it. It's about these aspiring actors, writers, directors that want to make their dreams come true in Hollywood. They want to make it big, they want to make a film that will be mainstream, that everyone will be talking about, and they want to become stars. The thing that I loved about the show is that it was so uplifting, and it made me really happy to see and imagine an industry where marginalized people could succeed. I saw a bunch of reviews where people were like, things were not like this in Hollywood, and I'm like, it's a TV show. I'm all for realism in shows sometimes, but you can rewrite history. That's why it's a TV show. It's fake. I really liked it. It was really uplifting, and I suggest that you guys should give it a shot as well. Another TV show I want to talk about is When They See Us. A lot of people were recommending that series, so I watched it. Not only was it a really famous case, it's just really heartbreaking, and sometimes heartbreaking is necessary because it's the truth. I understand if it's a little bit hard to watch, especially right now. It was really hard for me to watch it, but I thought it was necessary. It really breaks your heart. Even if you don't watch it now, maybe watch it in a couple of months. The next show I want to talk about is a classic for me, and it's The Office. I love The Office. I feel like during quarantine, I've definitely had ups and downs. I haven't felt my best sometimes, and I feel like The Office can really uplift me. I just put it on when I'm washing dishes, when I'm doing house things, and it really takes my mind off of everything. It's just so hilarious. I love it so much. So if you still haven't watched The Office, I don't know if it's everyone's cup of tea. I've recommended it to friends, and some of my friends don't like it because the comedy in it is very, very awkward, cringeworthy, but I love it. It just makes me happy. I don't know. Okay, so last 4 TV shows, and then I'll go into movies, is an anime that is it is my absolute favorite anime in the whole entire world, and that is Cardcaptor Sakura. I've talked about this before because I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed with that anime ever since I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade when I watched it for the first time. It's the most nostalgic show for me. I've rewatched it so many times because I just hold it in a very special place in my heart. I love that show with everything I have. I don't know, it just reminds me of when I was a kid, and it just makes me happy. But I've been watching it again because they just put it on Netflix. The thing is, they put it on Netflix in English, Japanese, Portuguese, and European Spanish. When I was a kid, I watched it in Latin American Spanish, not European Spanish. I tried to watch it in Japanese, and it just wasn't the same. I want that nostalgia of listening to the voices that I heard when I was a kid. But somehow, on my internet search, I found a Google Doc that includes all of the episodes to Cardcaptor Sakura in Latin American Spanish. So I've been watching it on this Google Doc that I found. Okay, let's go with the movies now. There's not a lot, as you can tell. I've been watching a lot of TV shows. I have been rewatching a lot of Ghibli movies. Of course, it's me. Because they just put them on HBO Max. Or I should say HBO Max just was created. I don't know, there's too many HBOs. The point is that HBO Max has all of the Ghibli movies, so if you want a place to watch them and you live in the US, then I suggest you get HBO Max, because I know that the rest of the world has them all on Netflix, so that's awesome. I was watching Spirited Away the other day because it's my all-time favorite movie. Whisper of the Heart always makes me cry. When they sing Country Road, I don't know why, it just makes me cry. I also watched When Marnie Was There, which I hadn't seen in a while, in several years now. And I remember the first time I watched it, I cried so much. Strangely enough, I didn't cry this time I watched it. I also watched The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Absolutely beautiful, and I love the animation on it because it's really different from all of the other Ghibli movies. Another anime movie that I recently watched is Millennium Actress, which is directed by Satoshi Kon. I've talked about Satoshi Kon in a bunch of my other videos because I really, really love Perfect Blue. I always mention this movie, but I just really like it. Anyways, I watched Millennium Actress because I hadn't seen it before, and it's about these guys that are interviewing this old actress. During the process of the interview, we see the story that she's telling them, but interwoven with reality. So we see the cameraman during the times that she's describing, and it's just really interesting storytelling. I love Satoshi Kon because he really likes non-linear storytelling. It's a little bit all over the place, so you really have to pay attention because if you blink, you'll get lost. Same thing with Paprika. It just jumps around all over. I like his movies because they're so psychological as well, and I just think he was such a great filmmaker. Sad that he passed away at a really young age. His movies are masterpieces in anime, so I not only recommend you watch Millennium Actress, I also recommend his other movies, especially Perfect Blue. Another movie that I recently rewatched because they put it on Netflix is Lady Bird. I love Lady Bird. I feel like you probably know that. Really great movie about the life of this girl who has a really complicated relationship with her mom. Sadly, her circumstances aren't the best, but she wants to move away to college. It was directed by Greta Gerwig. She directed Little Women as well. This was her first film ever. It just blows my mind. It's so good. The last movie I'm going to talk about is The Florida Project. I think I watched this one at the start of quarantine. The Florida Project is about this little girl and her mom who live in a motel. They're going through a really hard time in their life because they don't have money. They have to live in this motel. Her mom is struggling really, really bad. The daughter, she is practically raising herself, and not necessarily in the best way. I thought it was really heartbreaking story. Again, the relationship between a girl and her mom. I really like these types of movies, huh? What I really, really loved about this movie is the color palette and the cinematography, but the story itself wasn't as bright. So I thought it was a really nice kind of juxtaposition. But also, I feel like this is how this little girl saw the world. Even though she knew that their situation wasn't the best, I feel like she still saw the world through this colorful lens. She was still trying to be a kid. And I feel like the ending of this movie, which I'm not gonna spoil, really speaks to that, how she sees the world, how she imagines everything. Okay, so those are the movies, TV shows, anime that I've been watching during quarantine. And like I said, I've also been drawing a lot. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, as you can tell from my last video. What have you guys been watching? Please let me know in the comments. For my next video, I'm planning a Studio Ghibli themed video, which I'm really excited about. If you want to watch it and you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you know when I upload it. With that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys on the next one, which will be Studio Ghibli themed. Remember.